You're being manipulated more often than you think. Not in obvious ways, not with threats or force, but with words, with guilt, with timing, with carefully constructed situations that make you feel like you're choosing freely when really you're being steered. And the worst part? Most people never realize it's happening. They go through life wondering why they always end up doing things they didn't want to do. It's because they never learned how manipulation actually works. This video is going to change that. By the end, you'll know exactly how to spot manipulation in real time. And more importantly, you'll know how to make yourself completely immune to it. Not by being aggressive, not by isolating yourself, but by understanding the game so well that nobody can play it on you anymore. Let me start with something most people get wrong. Manipulation isn't about lying. It's about controlling your perception of truth. A manipulator doesn't need to tell you lies if they can control which truths you pay attention to. If they can frame the situation, if they can make you doubt your own judgment. That's why smart manipulators rarely lie outright, they just guide your thinking. They emphasize certain details. They make you feel like you're figuring it out yourself. And that's the trap, because when you think you came to the conclusion on your own, you defend it, you own it, even if it was planted there by someone else. So the first rule of becoming unmanipulable is this: notice when someone is shaping your thoughts instead of just sharing information. If someone keeps steering the conversation, if they keep bringing up the same point from different angles, ask yourself what they're trying to make you believe. The moment you see the steering, the manipulation loses power. Here's the second thing you need to understand. Manipulators use your emotions against you. Specifically, they trigger emotions that cloud your judgment. Guilt is the big one. If they can make you feel guilty, they can make you do almost anything. After everything I've done for you, I thought you cared about me. I guess I was wrong about you. These aren't just statements, they're weapons, designed to make you feel like a bad person unless you comply. Fear works the same way. This opportunity won't come again. I can't guarantee I'll still feel this way tomorrow. And then there's obligation, the feeling that you owe them because of something they did. But here's what you need to know. Real relationships don't operate on manipulation. Real requests don't come wrapped in emotional blackmail. So the second rule is, when you feel strong emotion during a decision, tell them you need time. If they push back, that's your answer. Because people with genuine intentions respect your need to think. Manipulators don't. Now let me tell you about the most powerful manipulation tactic nobody talks about. It's called the foot in the door technique. Someone asks you for something small. So small it feels ridiculous. Do you have a second? Can you just help me with this tiny thing? You say yes because it's nothing. It's easy. But now you've opened the door. And once the door is open, they ask for more and more. Each request slightly bigger than the last. And because you already said yes to the first thing, saying no to the second thing feels inconsistent. This is how people end up doing huge favors they never intended to do, because they said yes to something tiny without realizing it was the first step in a sequence. So the third rule is, treat every small request as if it might be the first step in a bigger ask. You don't have to be paranoid, but you do have to be aware. If someone leads with just one small... Don't say yes to the small thing that leads to it. Here's what Ayanokoji does that most people never learn. He doesn't react to emotional manipulation at all. Someone tries to make him feel guilty, he feels nothing. Someone tries to create urgency, he takes his time anyway. Someone tries to... And here's the key. When you stop reacting to emotional manipulation, manipulators lose their leverage. They don't know what to do with someone who won't feel guilty, won't feel pressured, won't feel obligated. So they either give up or they expose themselves by escalating. And when they escalate, they reveal their true nature. They get angry, they get desperate, they show you exactly who they... That's the fourth rule. When you stop playing along, manipulation reveals itself. The person who was just asking for help suddenly becomes hostile. The person who just wanted to talk suddenly demands your time. The person who just cares about you suddenly makes threats. And now you know, they were never coming from a good place. Learn to say no without explaining yourself. This is huge, because manipulators use your explanations against you. You say, I can't, I'm busy. They say, doing what? It'll only take a minute. You say, I'm not comfortable with that. Can you do this? No. Why not? I'm not able to. But I already said no. The fifth rule is, no is a complete sentence. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your boundaries. If they keep pushing after you've said no, they're showing you they don't respect your boundaries. And that tells you everything you need to know about continuing that relation. Now here's the uncomfortable truth about becoming unmanipulable. Some people will not like it. They'll call you cold, difficult, selfish, mean. Because the people who benefited from manipulating you will be upset when it stops working. They're not upset because you changed. They're upset because they can't control you anymore. And that's how you know it's working. When the people who always got what they wanted from you suddenly act like you're the problem, you've successfully become unmanipulable. The sixth rule is, expect resistance, and let it confirm you're doing the right thing. Good people will respect your boundaries. They'll understand when you say no. They'll accept your decisions without guilt-tripping you. Manipulators won't. They'll escalate. They'll punish you with silence. They'll make you the villain in their story. Let them. Because protecting yourself from manipulation is more important than maintaining relationships with people who only valued you for your compliance. Here's the final piece most people miss. Becoming impossible to manipulate isn't about being defensive all the time. It's about being clear. Clear about your values. Clear about your boundaries. Clear about what you will and won't accept. When you're clear, manipulation has nowhere to land. Because you already know what you stand for. You already know your limits. You already know your answer. Manipulators thrive on uncertainty. They exploit the space between what you want and what you're willing to say. But when that space doesn't exist, when you've already decided who you are and what you accept, manipulation becomes impossible. So the seventh and final rule is, know yourself so well that nobody can tell you who you are. Know your values, know your boundaries, know your worth, and then protect those things like your life depends on it. Because in a way it does. Your peace of mind, your self-respect, your freedom, those things only exist when you stop letting other people control them. So here's what you do starting today. Notice when someone is steering your thoughts instead of sharing information. Pause when you feel strong emotion during a decision. Treat small requests as potential first steps to bigger asks. Stop reacting to emotional manipulation. Say no without explaining yourself. Expect resistance from people who benefited from manipulating you. And know yourself so clearly that nobody can redefine you. Do this consistently, and you won't just become harder to manipulate. You'll become impossible to manipulate. And that's not cold, that's not mean, that's not selfish, that's freedom.